Hello, and welcome to reCapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at reCapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
We are back. What's up, Recap Nation? What's up, Delora?
Ciao, Bella. Welcome back stateside.
Grazie.
Probably should have stayed over there.
Yeah. So, guys, I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a show that you guys are used to in terms of format. We have been dropping our Dayton Black Women's Film Festival videos and episodes, which have been fun. And I know all of them weren't necessarily full smooth ins and outs that you're used to, but remember, we were live and we were getting it and doing and pushing and moving. So
and then
hopefully you enjoyed.
The recording situation was so much different in terms of just actually recording it and having tape. Ronald had to switch out several times, like
memory cards and all the things.
Yeah. But it was a good learning experience for sure.
Absolutely. It was an experience. And we got to be together in person for the first time doing recordings, which we had not done.
Yes.
So that was great.
And to your point, speaking of the memory cards, we had to record like certain things multiple times. Yes. It was like I said, we learned a lot.
Yeah. So you guys will see on YouTube, there is a version of our last day where it's the interview with Selena and then our final thoughts. And then there's a video. The video is kind of like take two, of our thoughts, just so we could make sure we have something. And I know for me, I've loved that we have some video versions of episodes. Hopefully we'll have more of those coming for you guys too, and not just completely audio based, because as we know, video podcasting is the future. So
yes.
We'll be joining the wave, continue to join the wave. Guys, apologies in advance. I'm getting over something from my travels, so if I cough a little bit, if I'm a little rougher than usual with my voice, y'all just bear with me. But to Delora's point, while we've been away, I did take a little trip to Italy. I talked about that at the end of our recap of Another Simple Favor. If you have not listened, I'm going to say watch because we've had videos. If you haven't listened to that yet, where they went to Capri, I also went to Capri. That was one of the places I visited. I went to Venice, which was a full experience because we had to arrive to our hotel by boat because it was full, water to get into the city. It's full pedestrian. There's no biking. There's no cars. There's no nothing. So it was so interesting to GPS fully as a pedestrian and have street names like on the sides of buildings as you're walking, trying to identify where you're going. Our hotel was literally 2-minute walk to St. Mark's Square, which is kind of a big to-do in Venice, where you have St. Mark's Cathedral. We toured that. We toured Doge's Palace. This is on a full walking tour. We got to see where Marco Polo and his family lived. We heard quite a few.
Person.
He was a real person, girl, and walked to China. That's his whole thing. And then we heard about a lot of the history of that city in particular, but also Napoleon's impact and all these things. So it was very interesting. And I kept saying that Venice almost looked fake because I think I've gotten so used to the replicas of that architecture that seeing the reality of it is like, oh, right, this is the authentic stuff. Everything else is the mimic of this.
I love this so much. That reminded me the first time I smelled Chanel No. 5. I was like, this is the original. I've been smelling fakes my whole life.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is the inspiration. So it was fascinating. And
was it bigger? larger than you expected or smaller?
And none of that. Like, it's not like New York, where I went to New
Okay.
York having expectations because I had seen New York in movies and TV shows and stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
have really any expectations of what Venice was going to be. It was all surprises and just interesting,
It
from
was
the
the weather
people to
kind
the
to you?
food. The weather was cool. Like, I had a jacket on for a lot of that portion because it was like in the 60s and we were outside a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took a train south for the second leg of our trip. We took the train down to Naples, and then we went to the East Coast, which is Amalfi, which is
Nice.
Capri, which is
Yes.
Positano. Now that is a vibe. Like,
Scenic.
the coast is one of those that, for me, you have to see it in person. There's no pictures, no video does those views justice.
Love it.
On the
Love
same
it.
token, it is terrifying driving up those hills because you're driving up
Wow.
and down a mountain. So it is
Yeah.
very steep. The views are beautiful, but it was very steep. Our hotel in Amalfi has some of the best food that we ate on that trip. We ate dinner there 3 out of the 4 nights we stayed at that hotel because they did full 3 course meals and changed
Love
their
it.
menu every day. Service was
Yes.
impeccable. Food was outstanding. Let me tell y'all something. If you don't go anywhere else in Italy, from my experience, go to the coast. Go to the East Coast, go to Amalfi, go to Positano, go to Capri. It is worth it. The last thing that just capped off and made the trip so memorable for me and my mom, as we're leaving out, we had kind of walked around Amalfi, and we had gone over to this little small town and hung around, sat around, and then kind of went back to Amalfi, what have you. As we're leaving, our driver is like, just so you guys know, this town right here. I was like, oh yeah, we visited that town yesterday. This is where Denzel Washington shot The Equalizer 3. I said,
Wow.
shut up, sir. You
Yes.
just
Yes.
capped off my trip.
I
Okay?
love
Me and
that.
Denzel walked these streets together. That's what you're telling me.
Exactly.
So Denzel in that production shut down that, like, rented out that city, that little small town rather, for
Mhm.
4 months to shoot The Equalizer. Denzel stayed at a hotel that was very close to our hotel, where apparently all the celebrities stayed, Kardashians, everybody, in
Mhm.
Amalfi. And I guess he really created such a boost to the economy there because he employed a lot of the locals for that
Love
production
that.
as well. So, capped off the trip for me. Love to hear that story and
So,
bring it back
um,
to the mic.
first of all, love that you brought that back to our audience. Thank you so much because we love these tidbits. But when I tell you, I have seen multiple Black travel blogs talk about how Italy was the worst place to travel while Black. Did you have any experience or was it fine? I'm just curious.
I did not have that experience. Funny enough, so I saw an interview before I left on Instagram of Nicole Byer and Bob the drag queen talking about
Mm-hmm.
his experience with Italy. He was basically saying one thing he loves to do is tell people who are from Italy how much he hates Italy and get their reaction. And he was like, and whenever people are like, why do you hate, da, 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 why do you hate Italy? He's like, you know why. And they were like, yeah, I know why. And so I literally saw that days before my trip, and I was like, I don't want to hear this. Like, I want to have a great time. I've been
Right.
wanting to go to Italy my whole life.
Exactly.
What da, da, da. And
Right.
so I did not experience any type of even inklings of racism or discrimination from my experience going, right?
Good. Yeah.
Cannot speak to anyone else's experience, but what I kept saying is, if we want to talk about racism you may experience somewhere else, just imagine if I was coming over here for the first
Listen,
time
I would be
visiting.
concerned.
Mm,
I don't go to all the states in the South for that
like,
reason. And
like,
honestly, the North ain't no better, but still, it's just
let's
like
be for real though. Like, let's be for real. Maybe I experienced it so much here, I'm immune. I don't know. Who knows?
the fact that like we talk about how well at least in the South they blatant with it.
We got to pick and choose our racism, right? So I will say that was not my experience. We had a great
Good.
time.
Yeah.
And as an American who does not speak Italian, it's one of the countries you can go to where obviously you feel more catered to as a tourist because it's usually a lot of English that people are speaking. And,
Mm-hmm.
it was honestly our whole trip. There were a lot of American tourists. We ran into a couple Aussies. We ran into,
Love
some,
that.
but like a lot
It's
of the
always fun to
things
meet
we were
other
doing
travelers.
was a lot of
Yeah.
Americans. So like we at our hotel, we ended up bonding strongly with two ladies who both of them are originally from Rhode Island. One lives in New Orleans, the other one lives in Maryland. We met a couple from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We met a family from New York, from upstate New York. So like, it was a lot of catering to me still to like an American sensibility. So there's that. But I mean, because we stayed in these cities, we still got also that authentic Italian experience as well. And one of our drivers, who actually was a Naples native, he was like, one of the things that bothers me is when Italian Americans come over here and they can't speak Italian. He said, explain to me why in y'all schools they don't teach Italian. Spanish makes sense to me. You got Mexico. That makes sense. French, that makes sense to me. You got Canada, some areas of Canada speak French. German, when are you going to use German? I don't understand. Why don't they teach Italian? How are you gonna be an Italian American? You come over here, you tell me you can't speak Italian. It was a whole little rant. And I was like, you got it, sir. You got it. Because you're right. I've not learned near nothing hardly in Italian. So,
Yeah.
and I'm
I
not
gotta
Italian
ask
American.
you, were there any cuties in
Oh, yeah, of
Italy?
course. There were some. Of course. We're not blind. Of course.
Exactly.
Of course. All right, so that is kind of highlight reel. Plenty more I could go into, but I could be talking forever. So it was a
I'm
great
so
trip.
glad that you made the trip. I'm
Loved
so
it.
happy for you.
Thank you. It is a 6 hour time difference. That was one of the harder aspects. 6 hours ahead.
Ahead. I was just about to
Yeah,
say behind her head. Okay.
ahead,
That makes
ahead.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was great. Can't wait for more international travel. It always makes me itch to do more.
Yay. Absolutely.
All right, so we are back and we are going to do our usual Thursday, which is headlines and hot topics in these pop culture streets. Let's do it.
Yes.
So, first up, Misty Copeland has announced her retirement from the American Ballet Theater. In this article from USA Today, they said Misty Copeland is ready for her swan song. The dancer, 42, has announced she will retire after more than 20 years, and she's going to deliver her final performance during the company's fall gala in October. She said, I could never have imagined the life ballet would give me. To dance on the world's greatest stages with artists I admire so deeply has been one of the greatest gifts of my life. My time with ABT has shaped me not just as a dancer, but as a person and giving me the platform to reach back and make space for others. This moment isn't a farewell, it's a celebration of everything we built together and a step toward all the work that's still ahead. She is coming back after a 5 year hiatus, which I didn't even realize it had been 5 years, but she's become a mom. She's out here living life. And I mean, I'm super happy for her. I wouldn't even say that I've paid attention to ballet outside of the name of Misty Copeland and like films about ballet, like Center Stage. That's what my knowledge base of ballet
Our
is
introduction
since
to
I
Zoe
was a child.
Saldana
Yes.
before
Yes.
the Britney Spears movie. Yeah.
Absolutely. When she had her original dance, skills, because I think a lot of
Exactly.
people don't know or forget
Forget
that she
she's a dancer.
came from the
Yep.
dancing world before she was an actress. But I mean, Misty Copeland is obviously a significant figure in the Black community, and we're
Yep.
all very, very aware of her. I honestly am like, where's the tickets for the October gala? Maybe I need to try to find them
Period.
and go
They're gonna be
because
so expensive.
yeah, but like I've said this many times on the mic, I always like to see like our living legends while I can.
Yeah.
One of the
Yes.
things I know I'm going to look back on when I'm 80 and say is I wish I had went and saw Serena Williams in person.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? So,
Hmm.
where are these tickets? How much are they? Misty, hook a sister up.
Exactly. Talk about an end to an era. Like I remember when she splashed onto the scene in, was it an Armor commercial? It was, who was Nike's competitor? Under Armour. Do you remember that? And I was like, who is this woman?
I
And
don't.
then I realized that she also used to dance for Prince. he keeps a baddie, you know,
Yes, he does.
in close proximity. Okay. And then I got to know her and her story and the fact that she started out pretty old for this medium. Like usually ballerinas start off like super, super young, but she had that raw talent and her body was quote unquote, you know, not a primo ballerina body. And the way that she was able to defeat the odds. And I think what I appreciate about her the most is her actively reaching back, actively highlighting the Black ballerinas before her, as well as her peers, through her interviews, through her books. She has so many books that she's written during this time. I know we personally own like three of them, just highlighting little Black girls in dance and just giving the overall message of like you belong. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The last thing I really remember her campaigning for is, you know, getting the shoes in the nude color for Black people, like for their skin color. You know what I mean? The fact that she manually has to dye her own shoes. And she was trying to campaign on getting those ballet shoes to be more of a browner color in Apple emojis. So she's such a advocate for the community and she's such an inspiration. I'm happy for this next chapter, but she will be missed.
Baby, I'm looking at a People article. The fall gala ticket prices to see her final performance begin at $5,000.
That sounds about right. You're talking about the first and
Okay.
only principal dancer for the American Ballet Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there in spirit, baby. I'll be there in spirit. Unless somebody wants to sponsor me or one of these tables, I'll be there in spirit.
Us, sponsor us. Okay.
And you know what's funny is it's not that sometimes what you can or cannot afford. It's more so like how many trips is that? You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
that's I could be
that's a
putting
trip to
that somewhere.
Thailand. That's actually more than a trip to Thailand.
That's I could be putting that somewhere. So
We call that opportunity cost, Ashley.
yeah. Anyway, super happy for her. I'm excited to see what she'll do post this version of her dancing career because she said, you know, this doesn't mean to say I'm never gonna dance again. Just this chapter is closing. So just
Yes.
like all the greats in their professions who have, you know, so much runway ahead of them for their second act, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do next. So Misty Copeland, job well done here, ma'am. Let's move on to another
Bravo.
Black woman of excellence, Coco Gauff. Okay. Coco
Yay.
Gauff, the 21-year-old, has secured her second Grand Slam win and her first on a clay court after her 2023 win at the US Open. She beat her opponent in three sets, and
Yep.
she is the first American woman to win the French Open since 2015 when the Serena Williams
The
took
great.
home the title.
Yes.
I saw this come across my phone and I was like, oh, wow. Yes, next generation of Black tennis talent.
Exactly.
So happy for
Exactly.
her.
I mean, the American roster is just very Black, and I love that for us. Um, so proud of her. So proud of her.
Yeah.
And her
And
opponent,
her writing of her win,
yes,
the
right.
manifestation.
Listen, the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. And that is universal advice. It rings so true. And I think the thing that really got me, so her opponent, who's number one in the world, who's also the worst sore loser ever,
Yeah.
the crowd was calling out her name. And the fact that Coco was like, you know what? I'm gonna root for me. Coco,
Period.
Coco. I was like,
Period.
if that's not a word, I don't know what else is. Like, if nobody's gonna be rooting for you, you better be rooting for yourself. You got
Yeah.
I thought that was so powerful.
Absolutely. And I've always found tennis to be such a mentally tough
It
sport
is.
because you are
Yes.
solo. It is just you.
Yes.
You are out in front of all these people. It's not a team sport, even though you have support. It's
Exactly.
you against you some days. So
Yes.
kudos to Coco. To your point, her opponent definitely, and I'm not even familiar with this woman, left a bad taste in my mouth with the
Period.
comments that she
I was
made.
like, you gotta be freaking kidding me.
She needs to learn some
She didn't
grace.
play a good game. I made a lot of errors.
Yeah, she needs to
This
learn
is
some
the
grace.
second time she beat you. So what does that mean? And you know why it grinds my gears as a black woman is like, give me my flowers.
Or even if not that, like learn some grace, right? Like
Yes.
don't
But it's I
speak on
think
someone in that way just because of how you're feeling in that moment.
but I guarantee you she hated that she lost to her because of who Coco is. And that's her personal problem, obviously.
Take
But
that up with your mama, don't take that up with me. Oh well.
yep,
Coco, job well done.
congrats. And she is eating this up. I love all the social media trends she's doing, all the interviews. She's just, she's only 21.
21 years old.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the messy part of me crack coming out. I cracked up. I saw this, I don't know where I was. It might have been like the Shade Room or somewhere, Black Forum. They're like praying that the rappers stay away from Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah, she all right. She gonna be all right.
Yeah. Don't take another one of my black ladies down this path,
Period.
please.
Please.
Matter of fact, all y'all just stay single. Like, I'm not saying love ain't beautiful, but stay single. Enjoy your life. Don't get
Yes.
booed up. Just stay single out here and live your best life. Anyway, let's move on to Jared Leto. Man, another Hollywood celebrity male figure getting accused of sexual misconduct. Jared Leto, this time, being accused by 9 women who claim that he messed with some of them when they were underage. He has
Holy
denied
smokes.
these allegations, but one was mentioning that she was only 16 and he started asking her sexual questions, walked out nude in front of her when she was 17, exposed himself and masturbated before one of them who was 18 and put their hand on him. I mean, there's a lot in this People article that I'm
Trigger
looking at.
warning, girl. Oh
Oh, yes, trigger warning.
my gosh.
Sorry, guys, I did just dive right into that. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously disturbing. And, Jared Leto has been an actor, musician for a long time. So
He's actually a child star. So yeah, he's been doing this for a long, long time.
yeah, I mean, 9 is a number, right? It's not one, two, three.
Ooh, this
9.
is also allegedly dude is in charge of a cult. So like this
Not to
wouldn't
be
be
funny, but he
surprising.
looks like he could be a cult leader.
Right? They say that he's a cult leader, allegedly, and I would not put anything past anyone at this rate in my life.
Nah.
Um, and this behavior sounds like the predatory behavior that people have when grooming young girls, and we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, I mean, he's always struck me as like an intense person, but he's an
Yes,
artist and all that, so who knows what that meant. You know,
correct.
he's been a perpetual bachelor, so just thought he was out here
Yes.
playing the game, but I didn't know he was trying to play with children, potentially, allegedly. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, but it's like, man, another one bites the dust on these
I know.
accusations.
I used to enjoy talking about him and his flawless skin.
Got to take him
This is
off the list.
crazy. I know.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens there. Let's move on to Aaron, Pierre. Let's move
That's
fucks
fucked
up. And
up.
Teyana Taylor, because baby, the speculation is over. They are official out here in these streets. Okay, from his birthday and that kiss. First, let me start with the videos. That kiss. Then his
Wait, so
birthday.
how
That
many videos
kiss.
released? I only saw one video. Did she release her
She
whole visual
did.
album?
I've just seen the clips, so I have not watched the
I
full
did see
video.
clips, and they do have a passionate kiss up in
They
there. I
have
do.
a very girl. I remember thinking like, if this is acting, then baby, anybody
Listen,
who's with you should break up with you today because ain't that much acting in the world. Y'all
and
are.
that's true. Once those videos pop, I'm sure everybody gonna be talking about it. So yeah,
But then she had a surprise birthday party for him. They locked
yes.
lips for real, for real.
I thought it was very sweet though. He put her face in between both of his hands and gave her a kiss, like oh gratitude. You know how I felt about it initially. I didn't want it mainly in the beginning when we first heard speculations because I'm just like he just popped. He just got on the world stage, and I'm like, who wouldn't scoop him up if they could though? And that's where you and I also discussed like, thank God she's black and over 30. You know what I mean?
And
It's
also
a win.
unproblematic. Like I like
Yes,
Teyana Taylor.
me too.
She seems super cool.
And again,
Again, I
it's
didn't
not that
think
I
she was
didn't
about to go
like
in this
Teyana.
direction.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not that I don't like Teyana Taylor. I'm rooting for her constantly. And honestly, her situation with Iman was so disappointing. Her situation
Yeah.
with Kanye was so disappointing. So yeah, I'm always rooting for her. I've been rooting for her since Sweet 16. Okay. I just didn't think she was still dealing with men anymore. So
Same.
that's
But I
why I
mean,
just
he is to your point hot and seems very lovely. Like
yes,
I
he has the
reread
sweetest smile.
I
Oh
reread an interview he did recently where he said he's a romantic and he said,
yes.
he guards his heart though, so it takes him a minute to get there, but once he's there, he's at your beck and call. And I was like, Teyana, you deserve this, girl.
And listen, at the BET Award, when she wasn't performing, she was in his arms.
Yeah.
Like
They are
literally.
together.
Yes. And they look gorgeous together too.
That's
It's
what
a
the
lot.
headline I'm looking at from the Griot says. Aaron Pierre and Teyana Taylor just became Hollywood's most gorgeous new couple. Can't
Yep.
disagree. Can't disagree. They are both very good
Listen,
looking. And
it's
body,
they're
Audi.
I was gonna say they're gag worthy individually because old dude had his thirst trap.
I don't think I've ever seen so many people talking about they want to be in their bedroom to see them together than on the
Oh,
posts about Tiana and Aaron Pierre, honey.
no way. I've never seen
Yeah,
that. I hadn't seen
girl.
that.
All at least on the shade room, people are like, oh, to be a fly on the wall. Oh, can I
No,
just
thank
watch?
you.
Can
I
I
don't
just
need to.
watch? Girl, people are obsessing over this good
Obsessed
looking
over them,
couple.
but like I said, I think it's so sweet the way he kissed her, the picture of him like smiling. Sir got his hand around her neck, which hot. I'm like, yo,
From every romance book out there, the hand on the back of the neck,
ooh,
baby.
listen, he's taken for sure.
I love it
Good for
for y'all.
them.
I love
Good
it
for
for y'all.
them.
Yes. Do your thing. All right.
And her new song is fire. Oh, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. So we have two RIPs to kind of wrap up headlines today. RIP to Sly Stone, a legend, funk rock pioneer who led the Family
Yes.
Stone. He has passed away at the age of 92. I'm looking at Variety.
Wow.
The multi-talented musician who paved the way for, ushering in this era of musicianship that he was in, passed away at 82. As I mentioned, he was dealing with a prolonged battle with COPD, has some other underlying health conditions, but he passed away peacefully, surrounded by his family, his three children, his close friends, and his extended family. His family statement said that while we mourn his absence, we take solace in knowing that his extraordinary musical legacy will continue to resonate and inspire for generations to come. I had just been watching the Sly and the Family Stone documentary not too long ago that
Questlove.
yes, that Questlove did. So it gave me the ability to delve a little bit deeper into his story and better understand things. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's also going to be more content to come because the family also mentioned that there's a completed screenplay for the story of his life that is in the works. So, even though he's passed, obviously his music, his legacy, and his story will live on. What were your thoughts, Delora?
I was saddened to hear this news. Talk about talent, super, super talented. And it wasn't honestly until we saw the documentary and we recapped it. Highly recommend y'all. Summer Soul. That documentary is honestly a must watch as far as I'm concerned about like Black music, Black culture, American culture.
Watch it a few
Um,
times because I have.
it's so good. It's so freaking good. It's actually part of like my probably top five documentaries. The Quincy Jones one probably being number one, and The Godfather of Hollywood being the other. Anyway, I remember preparing for that recap and Questlove saying like, "Oh, his next documentary was Sly Stone," so I still have to watch that one. But his performance was it was a standout performance, even though that entire documentary was full of bangers. Okay. I just really got a chance to really understand his artistry
Mm-hmm.
and his band and his sound and better understand his influence with that particular project. So, legend. Thank you for your work, sir, and God bless his family.
Yeah, I wanted to end with this quote from Questlove that said, one of the strongest quotes from the movie is that Sly created the alphabet that we are still using to express music. He was the first to take advantage of being a bedroom musician, multi track recording, the wah wah, the drum machine, and doing everything by himself. We praise Stevie Wonder and Prince for those things, but Sly was the prototype. He also single handedly revived hip hop with all of the samples that came from him. So,
Um,
again, you talk about influence, you talk about legacy. He was such a pioneer in musicianship and a lot of the things that live on that maybe we're not even as aware of are impacted by his influence, right? So thank you so much. As a music lover, we both are for those
yes.
contributions that, we love and that we get a chance to experience. Because ain't nothing like some good music. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, last but not least, rest in peace to Ananda Lewis. It was literally announced the day that we're recording that the former MTV VJ and talk show host has passed away at the age of 52. We've talked about Ananda previously on the pod. She was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2020, and she's since, gone on and talked about it, talked about her battle, talked about the fact that she, had missed mammograms and things like that, that obviously made a difference in the impact that the disease ultimately had. And, she is a part of our like MTV
Yeah.
watching era of DJs, VJs. I mean, she's
Yeah.
solidified for us in that era. And even while she was battling, and this is, neither here nor there, still stunning, still gorgeous. Which is
Yes.
one of the things I remember her for being young, this beautiful brown skinned black woman with this beautiful
Girl,
hair
we are
on our
always looking for the Black
screen.
girl.
She used to just wow me so much and so lovely. And it was
Yes.
heartbreaking when I heard about her battle. And obviously, losing her life at such a young age is a tragedy. But I'm so glad that she had the opportunity. Again, you talk about impact, to make the impact she did on us for the culture, for music, for hosting and her talents there, as well as, the legacy that she'll leave on with her family. She has a son and will be dearly missed. So,
Yes, honestly, I appreciate her story and I appreciate the advocacy that she was known for in these latter years to be an example and to inform people to get themselves checked out. And I say that because she didn't have to do that. She could have just quietly, dealt with her diagnoses alone at home. And so I just appreciate her transparency every October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the bravery that she had knowing that this was a possibility. So, as you mentioned, I was so excited to see her growing up on TV. She always did a phenomenal job her and Lala were the two black girls on
Mm-hmm.
MTV representing us well. And this is just so sad. Just God bless her family and friends because, you know, this is cancer sucks.
Cancer sucks. Absolutely. All right, let's move on to our hot topics. Both awards, both have gone down, and both have been very musically inclined. The first one is the Tonys, hosted by the Cynthia Erivo. Shut it down. I did not watch the Tonys, but I caught many a clip. Cynthia had me on the brink of tears as usual when I hear her sing. What a phenomenal opener. What a phenomenal closer. We had Hamilton reunite for their 10-year anniversary. We had some great outstanding wins, like Cole being the first non binary artist to win for a significant award. I believe it was Best
Best actor.
Actor in a
Yeah.
play.
Yep.
And, Nicole Scherzinger, Audra McDonald, outstanding performances. I mean, I may have to go back and try to catch this on somebody's TV somewhere because it just seemed like such a great time.
A great time was had, Ashley, because I actually watched it. I wasn't going to, like, it was on my list of like, oh, if I have time, I'll watch it. And sure enough, that opening number that Cynthia Erivo did was so good. It was so funny because she was trying to say you don't need to do the glitz and the glamour and the dancing numbers and everything like that. You just need a song to open up. And the song it was a good it was good. She obviously performed it well. People were saying like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but they still wanted more. I mean, we can thank probably Neil Patrick Harris for that. Uh, he always did a number, always did
Mm-hmm.
a 1-2 step. You know what I mean? Not 1-2 step, an A count. Excuse me. This is Broadway. Um, so it was such a great night. I, sat down when she performed All You Need Is a Song, and Adam Lambert gave me everything I wanted
Mm-hmm.
in the audience ad libs. I was like, he understood the freaking assignment.
Sometimes I forget how well that man can sing.
Girl, what do you want from me?
Sometimes I forget how well that man can sing.
What really mattered to me, frankly, was the following. Hamilton, 10-year anniversary. I was very curious. And I was rooting for Audra McDonald to win Best Actress in a Musical because this would have been a record setting 7 for her. Ultimately, Nicole won. And I am not pissed off at it. Like, if it was going to be somebody, it was going to be Nicole because Nicole has had a great run for Sunset Boulevard. And her acceptance speech really touched me because, as the millennial as I am, I remember her from Eden's Crush, right? Making the
She
band.
went to Wright State University. Yes, she
Oh,
did.
that?
Yes, she did.
Oh, that's good to know. I remember her from Eden's Crush. I remember they underutilized her, and then there was the Pussycat Dolls, and there was some weird drama dynamics there. And then she tried to go solo. I never understood why she couldn't pop as a solo artist because she had the look, she had the vocals. Like, what was the deal? And I say all that to say, she was like, this was the first place that she felt accepted. And I was like, as hard as she was been grinding in the music scene, I don't think she got any love from the Grammys or anything like that.
Not that I can remember.
And she's been doing the stage thing for a minute as well. Like, yes, we see her on the Masked Singer, but she was doing not Broadway, but UK's scene and everything for years. And so I was over my annoyance of Audra not winning, right? But when I tell you Audra McDonald's performance of Rosie's Turn from Gypsy on Sunday night was legendary. I was in awe. And the thing about this revival that is so fantastic is the fact that it's the same. Everything is the same. The only thing that's different is that they have a Black family in it. And I felt like, it's a story of, she's essentially a stage mom wanting her kids to make it big. And this song in particular is pretty much talking about how everything she's done was for her kids and what does she get? Like, when does she get her turn? Right. And the grit, the angst that she puts in that performance as a Black woman in the 1930s, it's something that you've never seen before. Like, I've seen Bette Midler sing this song before. I've seen Bernadette Peters sing this song before. I've seen LaBone sing this song. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And it was just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And so a time was had, Ashley. And then Hamilton, my husband thought I was losing my mind because I was screaming, I was dancing, I was jumping, I was swooning because we had Daveed Diggs.
Original crew, baby. Original crew.
It was so freaking good. It made me realize why I loved Hamilton in the first place. Like, it's one thing. I was like, I haven't been on a Hamilton kick in a while. This is reigniting something in me that has been buried. Okay. And it's the joy and the magic of that original cast. Ashley. Wow. Wow. And the fact that they wore all Black to symbolize the end of our democracy as we know it, I was like, message.
And Lin-Manuel seemed emotional there at the end.
I think he was proud. He made something from reading a book, became a phenomenon. 10 years later, you get a chance to bring everybody back. And where did 10 years go?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Yeah, man. Well, I may have to come watch that somebody's recording somewhere because the clips probably just do not do this enough justice. This is one I think I need to catch in full. So I'm glad you had a great time.
Cynthia's closing number, she changed the words from I Am Telling You from Dream Girls to, the winners of that day of the award show. Her talent it comes off as effortless because, one, it's a gift. Yeah. Two, she's mastered it. But the fact that she didn't even do that, like, how there's that drag of air. Yeah. Sis can hit that note, just pluck it out of thin air.
Yes, ma'am. Voice has been anointed. She just recently was on the Terrell show, and I need to go watch it in full because even just the portion that I caught of her singing a Stevie Wonder song, I was like, and I say this about even Stevie Wonder, it makes me emotional. Like, it just brings something out of me. I can tell y'all, how many times have I now watched Wicked? How many times have I listened to her sing? And at the end of that movie, every time, even I watched it on the plane coming or going to Italy, I still got emotional.
It hits.
Like, I watched Mufasa on that flight. I watched multiple things on that flight, right? Watching Wicked was the time my people around me saw me do a little couple dabs because I'm like, her voice will never not impact me, I don't think.
It's truly a gift. And I say that because I'm reminded of Whitney, and that's what Whitney called it. And I mean, she's the voice, right?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I love Cynthia and I'm talking her up, Whitney is in a different stratosphere of feeling.
I remember
not just talent
she has, though.
Not just talent. I mean, a feeling for me. But
but what I'm trying to say is that's how you look at gifts. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it touches you in a deeper, it penetrates deeper. That's all I'm saying. I'm not comparing her. It's not apples to apples by any means. Like, but you understand, but I'm just saying that conversation of having a gift is because like I didn't get that with I mean, I'm not, I don't, this is going to sound shady, but like Nicole, but still, like, she's
Yeah.
talented and I enjoyed her performance.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, some people just they hit you in the soul,
yeah,
and that's what it is. All right, let's move on to the BET Awards. Those just aired. Missed those as well, but caught these highlights. And
I
the
didn't know. Didn't they
25th,
not do it like a couple of years?
no, the BET Awards have still aired every year.
Every
Yes. And this was the 25th anniversary, and they did a 25th anniversary 106 in Park tribute.
Yes,
They brought out the folks of our
they
era,
did.
honey. Bow Wow,
Whew.
Maya, uh,
Yep,
Ashanti,
yep.
Ti. Like it was a full
It was our
full
childhood.
thing. And then Roxy and AJ didn't make it. Roxy ended up issuing an
No.
apology, like, "Oh, I did everything I could." You have performances by Mariah Carey. You have performances
Yeah.
by Teyana Taylor. Doechii won an award. She used that time to talk about, Trump and the ICE raids and the nonsense going on. So many moments and highlights that I've seen. Jamie Foxx delivered a very emotional speech when he
Beautiful speech.
got his Ultimate Icon Award. And I
Love
mean,
it.
there's
His tribute was so good.
there's a lot to discuss here. Leon Thomas won Best New Artist. By the way, this girl was speaking straight Italian in Italy, and then she stopped speaking and started singing his song. I was like, get out of here.
Mutt. I told
Yes.
you about that song. I told you it was a vibe.
Yes. I was like, get out of here. This is crazy. But
Power music.
so much, yes, and that's what's funny too is being over there. I heard so much American music. At a restaurant
Yeah.
we were in, one of the waiters was singing Prince Purple Rain. We're listening to Whitney. We're listening to Drake. We're listening to all sorts of American artists. It's definitely, universal. Kirk Franklin had an amazing performance. Glorilla won
Mhm.
an award. So
Gospel.
it looked like it was a great time. It looked like it was a full pack. Oh, A. Marie also performed. Don't want to miss her. Full packed, great award show. And this may be one I may go back and watch, maybe not, but I just love to see that it looked like everybody was having a really, really great time and that, BT Awards for a little bit there. I don't want to say they had lost a step, but I think in general for me, award shows had stopped being as exciting to necessarily need to catch live. And I'm glad that I'm starting to see things again where it's like, okay, y'all are interesting me again to like want to get back into watching the full award shows and figure it out because y'all know I ain't got no cable. So
Again. I was like, oh, that came out. It's been a minute since I watched the BET Awards, but the from what I did see, it looked like a great time, and Kevin Hart was funny. I saw the bit about him. I did like Usher and those cherries. That was
what
hilarious
was
to
with the
me.
dude behind him? I was like,
I
is he
don't
supposed to
know.
be like a bodyguard? Because
I assume that's what I was assuming because I don't think Usher. Yeah, he walks around with people behind him, right?
not like
His
that
security.
though.
No,
But
okay.
I mean, I went to the show. It wasn't like that. But I love the bit. I also love him, Kai, Drewski. That trio is hilarious together.
Yes. I so I thought that was funny. Girl, Tiana Taylor's performance was so good. Like this is what I mean. Like I've always rooted for her because she's such a visionary.
Yeah.
Like it was to the point where because her situation with Kanye was so messed up and he just rushed that album and she just honestly I don't want to say resign, but she was pretty much just helping like the videos and choreography for like up and coming girlies like Gorilla. But the fact that she was able to like put everything into this performance when she was on those wires singing a long time, that song is such a vibe. It's entirely too short. I'm like, why is this song so short?
Mm.
But the way she was dancing like robotically in that outfit, it's giving it reminds me a little bit of Scream. Shout out
Yeah.
to Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, but it was done so well. Maya singing "The Case of the Ex," That was my song. That was my song back in the day. It was so good. She was so great. She was
And
great.
she
She
ain't
was
aged a
amazing.
day.
I know. I loved
Looking
it.
good. You know who
And
also looked really, really good? I got to give her flowers. She's been looking good for a long time. Kiki Palmer. This red hair.
yeah, I'm
This red
loving
hair is
it.
perfection.
I'm loving it greatly. Agreed.
The red on a black woman. Shut it down.
Exactly. It was a good time. A time was had. Jamie Foxx's speech was very good, very emotional. And Jennifer Hudson singing his tribute was it was so good. I was proud of us. I'm like, look at us. Okay. BET.
People are being a little shady about Jamie saying that BET Awards matter more than the Oscars and all this and that, given his dating history. But y'all let it go. Let that man have his
I understand
moment.
what he means though, because it means something to be celebrated by your people because
It does.
it's who you do it for. You know what I mean? To represent. And
Yeah.
it's like you see the work that I put in for this.
And
But
no matter who you date, it does not negate, well, not if you still hold it down, it does not negate who you still are and the
so
community
here's the
you come
deal.
from.
This is correct because we've seen plenty of people who date, quote unquote, outside their race, and they don't want anything to do with Black folks. And for that, they can enjoy raisins in their potato salad. But for those who understand who they are and marry people for love, like with good intentions, I think they have no problem going in and out of Black spaces because they've never left. Like,
Yeah,
know what I mean?
indeed. All right, guys, that will wrap it up for us for headlines and hot topics today. Y'all can clearly hear getting a little deeper as we go. So I'll be sounding like Alicia Keys before the night is over, I'm sure. But guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. Please share this episode out with everybody you know. We appreciate it. Delora, what are we recapping for the people for next week?
We are recapping the global hit show Forever on Netflix. Can't wait to talk about it.
We had people asking us
I mean,
after
the
like 2 days
series
of it
is
being on
fresh,
Netflix.
fresh. Talking about when y'all recapping this series. I'm
Yeah.
like, can I breathe?
This is
Please.
for you, people. This is for you. So come back and join us for that. We appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend, wherever you may be. We'll be back. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.